Hello, my name is Pastor Stephanie Lape, and I serve at Cross and Crown Lutheran Church in Rancho Cucamonga, California. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am going to make a little series in the next 5 days, today and then the following 4, about anxiety and some things that you might want to do that can help you with anxiety. I do all of these 5 suggestions, and they really do help. Now, I'm not talking about if you have some kind of anxiety disorder where you need to see a doctor for that. I'm not a doctor. I don't prescribe medication, and I don't pretend to know about the depth of that kind of anxiety disorder. So please do seek medical care if you need it, and there's no shame in taking medication if you need it. But that's not what I'm talking about today. I'm talking about just sort of the garden variety brand of anxiety that a lot of us have. I can't imagine going through this pandemic time without feeling any anxiety at all. It's understandable. For one thing, this is a serious situation. We're seeing, the statistics that it has taken the lives already of like 125,000 people. So it's obviously a serious thing. It's also something where we don't see the finish line. We don't know when it's going to end, and it's invisible. So we're told to not be around people and wash our groceries off when they're delivered and things like that, but we can't see it. So we can't really visually know where the danger or the threat is. So of course we're anxious about this to some extent. And so my first suggestion is to give yourself compassion if you feel anxiety. It's not a bad thing. It doesn't mean you're defective or flawed or lack faith. It just means you're a human being like the rest of us. One thing to do that I have found very, very helpful with anxiety, and this is my first suggestion, aside from just having compassion if you feel anxious, the first thing to do to help alleviate some of that anxiety is to take it to God in prayer. And that might seem obvious, but I think it's obvious theoretically, but we don't always do it. Go to God and say, I really need help with this. Now, I would suggest spending some of your time in prayer actually saying what the problem is. I'm scared, God, because people are sick, and I really don't want to be sick, and I don't want to see my loved ones ill or dying from this. And, it's really scary. And or you might feel like I'm afraid of the financial situation, what's going to happen with my job. Whatever it is you're afraid of, voice it. Try to verbalize that. However, I wouldn't spend the entirety of my prayer on just what the problem is, or just what you want to avoid. Like if I'm saying, God, I'm so scared because this virus is going around and I want to avoid it and I don't want to get sick. That's all naming the problem. I would spend some time doing that in my prayer, but I would spend, and I do spend, the majority of my prayer saying what I do want, not what I don't want. So to say, God, there's this virus going around, and, of course God knows this, but, just voicing the problem, and I'm anxious about it. But what I want, God, is I want health. I want good health for me, for my family, for my friends, for my nation, for the world, for my loved ones. I want good health and vitality and well-being. I'm asking for that, God. I'm asking for protection, for safety, for strength, for a good immune system. I'm asking God for peace of mind, for comfort, for a good night's sleep. I'm asking God for peace for my church congregation, for my neighbors, for my friends. I'm asking God for well-being. I'm asking God for joy. I'm asking for strength for the healthcare workers of this world. See, what I'm doing is I'm not just saying what the problem is. There's this virus, God, and I'm anxious and I don't want to get sick. Well, what about what you do want? I do want health and protection for me, for the healthcare workers. I want the people in the hospitals to recover. Put what you want into your prayers. It changes your prayer life. It changes so that now you are focused on a solution, not just on a problem. And in that shift, God will do what God does, but in your own and my own mental shift and verbal shift from what we don't want to what we do want, we can start to feel some comfort. Of course, we're going to be continually anxious, even in prayer. If all we say is, I don't want to be sick, I don't want to be sick, I don't want to be sick, I don't want to be sick. What are we doing? We're thinking about sick, sick, sick. We're just worrying in prayer. You know, worry is often called praying for what you don't want, right? So instead of the worry and the ruminating on what you don't want, pray for what you do want. God, I am asking for health. Now, that does not mean that you then go about being in public and shaking everybody's hand and not even caring about quarantine and not wearing a mask and saying, hey, I'm covered in prayer. That's called magical thinking. That doesn't work that way. Do what you need to do. Listen to the scientists and the people who say, hey, protect yourself right now. In addition to protecting yourself and staying in quarantine and wearing a mask if you go out and things like that, in addition, ask God for the things that you want. I think you'll find that this will start to calm you a little bit, knowing, hey, God's hearing my petition for health, for peace of mind and safety throughout the night, for well-being for my loved ones and the healthcare workers and all those who are in hospitals. I hope this helps you, and I have 4 more things to talk about that might be helpful in the days ahead. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. That'll make it easier to find this the next time you want to see the videos. And also, there's that little bell icon. If you click on it, then it will send an email out, a notification when we have another video that comes up. My prayer for you is that you are healthy, that you are well, that you are peaceful, that you are trusting, that you are grateful, and that you find some meaning in this time. God bless you. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.